Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video. My name is Rooney and today I'm going to be talking about how to improve your iOS home screen. So I would say I'm pretty knowledgeable on this subject. I've completely customized my home screen many times. I'll put up some pictures of my past home screens, and then I'm going to be basically walking through the steps to make your home screen look like this in this video.
1 a.m. eyes closed, I'm slowly falling.
The first step is the planning. You may not think that there's a lot of planning when it comes to this stuff, and it's just kind of like on a whim, go for it kind of stuff. And you can go like that, but for me, I find it's always smoother sailing if you have a plan. So things to plan: one, how many home screens do you want, or how many pages on your iPhone do you want? Me, I usually keep it simple. I usually have just one, and then depending on whichever focus mode I have on, then it's a different one. And we'll get to that later on, but right now think about your different focus modes. I would work around that because really a lot of people don't make use of the focus modes, and I also was guilty of that. I didn't do that before either, but it's so useful. So I would highly recommend use those focus modes because they're really helpful. So for example, if you have a school focus mode, well then on that home screen you should have apps related to school. And then if you have your work focus mode, you'll have, maybe a banking app, maybe your email, things to keep you focused on work and not distracted. And then maybe you have one just for fun. I made one a focus mode just for video gaming because I'm a gamer, and on there I have like a ton of like bookmarks to different games, wikis that I use very often. Like right now I'm obsessed with Stardew Valley, so I have the Stardew Valley wiki on my home screen, and I'll show you how to do that as well, how to like bookmark a website but like straight from your home screen. It's actually so simple. And then lastly, you got to think about a theme. So for me, I I made it way too difficult. I had like 5 different themes for each of my focus modes, but you don't have to do that. You can just have one consistent theme for all of your focus modes. Pick a theme. If you like anime, pick an anime that you like and make that your background. Or if you are into WWE, like I am, you can make that one of your home screens. Just really play around with it and try and express yourself. I find that if you have fun doing it, then it's not as tedious. So yeah, once again, remember, you gotta plan how many pages you want. Are you going to make use of those focus modes? If not, that's okay too, but I highly recommend use those focus modes and come up with a theme that you really like. Also, you can check out this video up here for basically all the apps that I'm going to use today in the step-by-step video are in this video, and just like super streamlined. If you're not willing to sit through this very long video, go check out that video. Basically everything I talk about here, but super streamlined, just highlighting the apps and what you can do with them. Meanwhile, here I'm going step by step how to use those apps. So step 2 of customizing your iOS home screen is finding a background. This is probably the most important part of this whole thing, because your background is kind of like your medium. Think of a canvas, right? It's like blank, and so that's your background. It's blank right now, and then you slap a photo, an image, or whatever, or maybe you use one of those like iOS like default home screen backgrounds that they already have implemented, like the Nemo fish. You guys know what I'm talking about? You can use those too if you want. I'm not here to judge. Whatever works for you. Most important part. So pick a background that you like and that will hopefully very much blend in with everything else. Like the theme has to be cohesive. That's what makes your home screen really good, is when it's cohesive. If it's not cohesive, I'm sorry, it's not gonna look good. One tip I would give about background picking is sometimes it's bad to have a background that's super busy. What I mean is, like, if it's really textured, or if it's just got like a lot going on, a lot of different colors. Pick a theme. I always tend to go more minimalist and like a couple colors here and there to make it really like cohesive. But hey, if you're going full on circus, do it. I'm not here to judge again, but like I find that it's way easier to work with less colors and then add in color through other accents than to pick a background with so much color that you don't even know where to start. And another thing to note is that your background for your home screen does not have to be the same as your background for your lock screen. So I often have two different images, or sometimes I have the same image, or sometimes I did this cool trick where you can like have your home screen be your lock screen photo, but it's like blurred. So then it causes this cool effect where you scroll up and it looks like everything became unblurred. I actually found this method really cool, and I learned it from this guy up here, Tempo Golden Global. Search him up on YouTube. He's honestly part of the reason why I'm making this video, because I was like, ooh, I like what he did, but I also have so many more things to add on top of what he did. So yeah, go check out his videos. He also makes a ton of iOS videos about customization and just like productivity and stuff like that. So next we got to start thinking about the apps. So you would start thinking about what apps are what page or what go with what focus mode, and also what the app icons are going to be. Are you going to completely customize all the app icons, or are you just going to use the default ones? I have a really good app for this. It's called Ycon. Heads up, it is made by, I think, a Chinese company, so they might be stealing your data. I don't know, but I find it's the most useful. Way better than finding icons on Pinterest. I mean, you could still do that if you want, but I find it's really hard to find all the icons that you want, all in the same theme and color and whatever. My goals when it comes to customizing are: one, functionality. I still want my phone to be super functional. That's why I only have one home screen page for each focus mode of mine. Because one, I'm lazy and I don't want to do more than I have to. But two, also because I don't use like 50 apps on the regular. I only use a couple apps depending on where I am. If I'm at school, I'm using, like my webmail. If I'm at work, I'm probably not using any apps. I'm probably just checking my mail and checking my bank account. Those kinds of things, So trying your best to streamline and only have the apps that you need. So yeah, remember these three words, okay? You want functionality, you want simplicity, and you want it to be aesthetic, of course, come on. But you should not prioritize aesthetics and then these two other things kind of fall behind. I thought I just flashed the middle finger for a second. I was scared. Okay, this is the part where I was talking about before, where you can basically have a bookmark from like a website, from Safari, straight onto your home page screen. And so there is that way you can do it through Safari, but I use the shortcuts method. So first, I'm going to go to whatever website I want to save on Safari, open it, and then highlight the link at the bottom there, copy it, and then go to shortcuts and paste it into the whatever. I'll have a video here showing you, but yeah, it's literally that simple. And the reason I do it through shortcuts is because then I can have an app icon. If you just do it like the add to home screen through Safari method, you won't have an app icon. It'll just be like the first letter of the website name, which is really ugly. So I do it that way instead. So now let's talk about Ycon. Basically, you take a screenshot of your homepage with all the apps that you want to use, and then you open the app and you just put the image in, and then from there it will basically just start automatically making app icons for you. And so what you want to do is then just customize the color, like the icon color and the background color for the app icon. You can also have gradients. You can have, I think, images, but I don't usually use that mode. You can have little borders. You can also, this is my favorite feature, offset like how big the image is or icon is. So I always make them really small because then they kind of disappear in my home screen, but like I can still, if I know where it is, I can click it. But if other people don't know, they'll just think it's part of the image, and that's really cool for me. But another favorite part of mine is this is why, back to the picking a good wallpaper thing, I pick really minimalistic wallpapers because I can do stuff like this, where there are app icons, but they just blend in to the wallpaper, and that is so cool because it's just a seamless blend in. So yeah, that is basically how I make all my app icons. I don't actually use Pinterest or find them on the internet or make them myself. I mean, I guess this is making it myself, but like I use this app. So useful. It's free. There are ads, of course. Everything has an ad, but I get by just fine being free. Step 4, I think we're on. We're now going to start creating the shortcuts. So I talked a little bit about this for like the web pages, but now the actual app icons, I'm sure you know how to make a shortcut to open another app, but if you don't, I'll still import a clip here.
I'm hoping I'm here. I remember last year when I was alone in my bed, unhappy thoughts in my head, and living silently.
Another couple added features. This one is mine personally. I don't think anyone has ever done this. I've never seen, like when I go to YouTube and search up customization stuff about iOS, I've never seen people talk about this. So I'm excited to share it with you guys because that's how I make my apps kind of nameless. Like you can see that they blend in so seamlessly. One, because of the background color from Ycon, but two, because they don't have a name. Why don't they have a name, you may ask? Well, because it's as simple as when you're creating the shortcut, you get to rename the app if you want. And so what I want you to do is go to the internet or Safari and type in blank character, copy paste. Now that you have like copy and pasted the blank character, you're going to go back to the shortcuts app and then you're just going to paste it in and boom, it's a blank character. Last thing I will mention, again, shout out to ģᴇʀᴇ Golden Global. He made this short that I really liked, and so go check it out. But it's about how you can basically lock your apps. As soon as I open my Snapchat app, it will go to the lock screen, and then the only way to like continue using the app is if I swipe up and it scans my face and it's my face. So it's basically like an automatic lock feature. I would only use this for a couple important apps, maybe like a banking app or like those types of apps, but usually those apps already have like a sign-in feature. If you have all your apps being locked like this, it's going to be really annoying to use your phone. Again, prioritize functionality. That's another thing about functionality. I hate when I'm looking for a specific app and I keep like scrolling through my home pages to find it when you could just scroll up and search for it. Or if you could just go all the way to the end and there's like the app catalog thing and you can also search there. So make use of those things. Again, back to functionality, make sure you don't have that many apps on your home screens because it just gets chaotic and it's not really aesthetic. The less apps, the better. But at the same time, you don't want so little apps that it's more aesthetic than it is functional. Remember, your apps that you use most frequently, depending on time, place, setting, focus mode, those kinds of things. That's what you should be thinking of. This is step 5. And it is about adding widgets. You guys were probably waiting, Rooney, where's the widgets come in? You have not talked about widgets at all. This is where I talk about 2 different apps. There's Yidget and there's Brass. These 2 are both on the App Store. They're both free apps. Again, both of them have membership options, which they will definitely push down your throat, but you don't need to get those because I passed by just fine. So Brass is very much like Widgetsmith, which I've used also before. But I find it better because it's just more simplistic, straight to the point.
Dream about times I wished for a new, happier day. If a hand could reach out right.
You can make blank widgets. And so that's how I pulled off stuff like this. You see how it's like blank up here? So freaking cool, right? It's pretty simple. Screenshot a blank home screen and then go to the Yidget app and just import it. And then you can pick through like the small square widgets or the medium-sized widgets or the large widgets. And so it's really that simple. And then you just go and you go back to your home screen and you edit it, add widget, Yidget, and then you put it on, and then you can like switch between the different positionings and different sizes and all that. So simple, but it really does a lot, right? Step 6, so fundamental, I think. People really go crazy with their home screens, but they completely forget one vital part, which is the lock screen. The lock screen also has to be just as aesthetic and just as functional and just as, amazing, right? So check out some of my lock screens here. What I would say is make use of the widgets that you can have here. If you want really like simple and no widgets, that's okay, I guess, but I find a widget that's really good to have is from the Widgy app. So this is the one app that we have not talked about yet, and it looks like this. Again, made by a Chinese company, so they might be stealing your data. It's really sketchy, but again, it's free, but there are paid options that they will push down your throat and will give you ads and stuff until you pay for it. But like, I've never paid for those apps. In the Widgy app, you can of course make just all types of widgets, and when I say you can make, I literally mean you can make. You can add text, you can add pictures, you can literally create it from scratch. Or what I do is just go import designs that other people have made on the app. And so my favorite one is this little Pikachu thing, and I can add it to my lock screen. Like, how crazy is that? And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it was a long one, but I hope it was worth it. I really am clearly passionate about design and iOS home screens. So yeah, I hope you guys learned some hidden techniques like I mentioned in this video, and share with your friends, because I find it's always more fun to do this with friends. Leave a like if you really enjoyed this video, and if it really helped, leave in the comments below what you found shocking, like anything that you learned, because I find a lot of these iOS customization videos, they just say the same thing over and over again, and then they make one every year, and again they say the same thing over and over again. I guarantee I will not make another video like this, because also, if you guys care, I have an Instagram and a TikTok. Go follow me there. As for that, I think that's pretty much it. Bye. See you later.